All right. Well, I have an interesting project I'm doing here. I'm working on, these are the Craftsman YT3000s, and I see quite a few of them around, but the only ones I've seen over here, I've had 3 of them come by, and they all had the same I guess the same faults with it. But let me show you what I've got. Is that what you want? You ready? Alright, so you can see here, this is one of the Craftsman YT3000s. The hood's off, I'm about to yank the engine on it. But what is going on, now I can still turn it here, but you can see it has real high compression. Well, the guy that dropped it off, he was saying, you know, he tried to fix it himself. You can see he even put a new carburetor on there. I think the old one's, yeah, still sitting over there. But he said his son was using it and just ran it dry of gas, and when, you know, they put gas in it and they couldn't get it to crank over again. So he got on YouTube and was looking, trying to figure out what was wrong with it. And what he came up with, he thinks it's the what is it, the compression release that's on the camshaft in the cam. And when I tried to start it, I could hear something clanking in there, so I just, poof, okay, automatically I stopped. And I'm going to yank the engine, crack it open, and see if I can find out what is going on. Now, this is the 3rd one that I've had come in here with the same problem. The first one I was able it wasn't the compression release, but it was the valves. I just readjusted the valves and poof, you know, cranked right up and I got it out there. This is the second one. And you can see this one, I had already yanked the engine on it. And I have it apart in my garage. Waiting to rebuild it. I'm just waiting for some parts. But let me show you what's going on with that. So you can see this strewn all over my bench here. And you can see I gutted it all out and I'm getting ready to I'm waiting for this piece. This is the bushing that is pressed in for your governor. So it's the governor crank bushing, and then this slides in after you press it in. But the problem I'm having, here's the old ones, and they were all bent up. I mean, all this stuff was just bent up. But look at that. I mean, it's just, it does not fit. This is supposed to be, you press in this bushing here, like that. Press it all the way in, and then you slide your governor crank in, and it's connected over here, right? Well, the way this is, it's an interference fit going in here. I don't see, once I press this in, I don't see how it's going to rotate back and forth with it that tight. So I'm going in circles with Briggs Stratton trying to figure out what is going on. So it's been sitting here for quite a while. It's been going 2 weeks where I haven't been able to work on it. But I've got all the new parts. But here's the box of mangled parts that came out of it. You can see where the compression release there on the crankshaft broke off, and it just slung around and just ruined everything. The governor is all screwed up. You can see that the governor crank and the crank bushing there was all bent up. There's your connecting rods. It even broke off a lot of the counterweight stuff. amazing. Just broke it off right here. That is supposed to have one of these pins. I don't know if it's still in here. But that's what happened to this one. Yeah, you can see these that are pressed in. So on that one, it just broke, just snapped that casting off. That is a massive counterweight, isn't it? So everything here is good to go, and I'm just waiting for this piece. They sent me another one of these, and it's been a week and a half and I still don't have it. But with the old ones, you can see I tried to bend it back into shape, and you can see how it'll slide in, but then of course it stops because I just can't get this brass piece straightened out. And I thought, well, maybe if I drill it out on the inside, but I'm just going to replace it. Now the new one, you can see it actually still slides into the old one too. But with this one, it's the ID is just too small. Cannot get it in there. But this is the second one that I've worked on. So this third one, I'm going to crank it open and see if it's this same problem, and hopefully I'm catching it in time before it starts to go this far. I mean, I just had to remove everything. I'd already replaced, you can see it has the new connecting rod on it. Has the old piston, but I put new rings on it. Where is that piston, by the way? Yep, here it is. Yeah. You can see where all that's cracked. All that's cracked there. I mean, it just mangled this engine up. So here I am. You can see I just drained the oil on it. I'm just going to start disconnecting all the electricals, take the carburetor whole assembly off, and I'll be ready to go underneath and take the pulley off, and I'm going to yank the engine, and I'll come back when I have the engine off and up on this table. Alright, so there she blows. You can see I took the oil sump cover off. No big deal, it all looks pretty good in there. There's no breakage, no chipping. All this looks to be in good shape. Now I know there was something rattling around, so looks like the governor is in good shape. Let's take that off. Well, it feels like the feels like the compression relief is still there. I'll rotate it around and make sure it's that it's working. But before I can pull the camshaft out, of course, I need to take the valve cover off, and that's probably what I should have done first. Take this off and check the valves and the valve rods, make sure that's just not, maybe it came off, you know, who knows. Wouldn't that be something? That would have been an easy fix, and I went ahead and tore all this down, huh? So, well, let's take a look on it. Alright, so you can see I got the valve cover off, and the first thing I noticed, this thing was just dangling loose. And actually, because it looks like, see that little cap that's on this one? It's missing, so maybe that's what is rattling around. Oh, there it is. So the cap came off. Boy, that is awfully loose, even with the cap on there, isn't it? Ah. So your whole rocker arm bolts loose there. Well, it looks like, so there's the fix. So you tighten this up. I could have saved myself a lot of hassle of breaking this open, yanking the engine and breaking it open. I could have fixed it right here. But that being said, I'm still kind of glad I did, just to make sure there was no damage inside. I've done this before where I thought I did solve the problem up here on the valves, but then it was still the compression release here was still bad, and it ended up breaking up and doing the same thing. And that's probably what happened to this second one there. The guy did the same thing I did. He just went over here, thought he had a fix, but actually it just mangled the inside of everything. And this is what I mean about the governor here. See the pressed in bushing? And your governor crank should slide in and rotate freely, right? But the one they gave me, and the one that it's on the diagrams, but it's not a correct fit. But anyway, so there's the fix. I do believe I still have a gasket. I'll go ahead and replace the gasket, get that put back together, come over here, do my fix here, and we'll put it back together and crank it up. Because I'm still going to inspect everything I can. And there's some more damage. This looks like the intake rod, and it's been out of shape. I noticed that when I was trying to rotate the wheel around and try to get top dead center here. And I noticed this thing was just I knew something was wrong, and sure enough, when I pulled it out, it's just all bent up. So there's a couple of problems. We got a bent rod and lost one of these deals. And this one just came off too, of course, when I popped that out. So I'm missing one. But that's the problem. Alright, so this one is put back together. I just replaced the intake valve rod and tightened up all the the rocker arm stud. And when I put everything back together, especially that stud too, I used some blue Loctite and torqued everything down, make sure it's not going to do that again. But it sounds like it's going to run pretty strong now. Let's see if I can do this while I'm holding my battery or holding my camera. Alright, so good deal. It's actually a pretty hefty engine, isn't it? For a single cylinder. That's a huge piston in there. But that's it. That's my third one I've worked on. That one was in much worse shape. And the first one had the valve problems also. But oh well. That's it. That's how you troubleshoot it, I guess. Hopefully, I don't know if I'm going to have a ton of these XT3000s come my way. I'm kind of surprised this year. Alright, so that's it for this one. You know, I'm kind of surprised this year with all the YT3000s that I've done. This is my third. And they've all been in pretty good shape. It's not like they've been used and abused. Everything looked great on them. It's just they've had consistent problems with the engines. And when they're running strong, but it seems like they're always coming up with valve problems, or what is it, the compression release on the camshaft. But other than that, everything else has been great on these tractors. They're, you know, it is a pretty big engine for a single cylinder. But we'll see as time goes by. We'll see how many more come my way. But well, that's it. So thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe and watch for my next video.